Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the Wine with Jimmy channel. Thank you for clicking by. This channel is all about wine education. So if you're curious and you really want to learn more about wine, you'll find the information here that you need. But also, more specifically, my videos are designed to help those of you studying the wonderful world of wine. So if you are preparing for examinations such as the WSET, you'll find these presentations follow the key text and key syllabus, really to help you in your understanding and your confidence to really smash your examinations out of the park. If you have a comment or a question, please do pop it in the comment section below this video. It'd be great to hear from you. And please make sure you click like and subscribe. Welcome to a video here on Tuscany. We're looking at a specific part of Tuscany, Brunello di Montalcino. Brunello di Montalcino, DOCG. You'll see the beautiful hilltop town of Montalcino just there. And this is a spectacular part of Tuscany. There's many spectacular parts of Tuscany. So I'm going to talk about a little bit around the where we are in Italy, central Italy. Talk about the sort of key location, topography, climatic information, and then go specific into Brunello, the style of the wine, and any legislation around this. I've also included a working short written question that I will go through, which will test you so you can actually follow along, and hopefully you are providing answers that are very similar to mine, the examiners. So that will give you, of course, the confidence. Okay, let's rock and roll, talking about the location to begin with. And of course, you'll see it here. We are talking about central Italy. Central Italy includes Tuscany, also Umbria, which is the only landlocked region in central and southern Italy, Lazio, Marche, and also Abruzzo. Okay, so in your textbooks, it's down as central Italy. And we're looking at the highlighted part there on your map, which is Tuscany, of course. So it has key cities in it like Florence or Firenze, Siena, but also the likes of Pisa as well. Let's have a look at the location in terms of topography for climate and grape growing. So this large area here where it says Arno, Arno is the major river that runs through Tuscany. And you'll see that I've then highlighted the Apennines, which runs down the spine of the Italian peninsula. This area is south of the River Po Valley, and we find that Apennine Mountain really is the key factor in topography here. A lot of the viticulture goes up to the foothills of the Apennines. Not all of it, but a lot of the key areas. We would consider Tuscany having a warm Mediterranean climate. The grapes are planted in the hills and the valleys of the Apennine mountain range, with others as well, and this provides the altitude and also the moderating influence of this quite warm area. The coastal regions on both sides of the country impact the whole of the central area. We're, of course, talking about this westerly side with the Tyrrhenian Sea, which is a part of the Mediterranean. And these provide cooling, moderating breezes which come into Tuscany. So Tuscany is broadly split into three areas. So we've highlighted, first of all, the mountainous Chianti region in the northern part of Tuscany. So this map here shows you the whole of Tuscany. I have grey-scaled out most of it and just left the colourful parts for the area that I will be discussing. So the colourful areas there are really the major Chianti places. So this is north of Siena. This is around the city of Florence towards Pisa and also Lucca. So this is the mountainous Chianti region in the northern part. In the southern section, these are called the southern hills and valleys. This is actually where we'll be focusing on, because Montalcino is considered kind of a part of this area, though it's highlighted on green on that map. It still is a part of the southern hills and valleys. And the other part of Tuscany would be everywhere else, which would be considered the flat or flatter coastal plains, stretching really from Colle de Luni through Livorno and down the Maremma coast towards Grosseto. We're not focusing on that area. We're not focusing on the Chianti northern part. It's the southern section that we'll be looking at for, of course, Montalcino. The key grape variety here of Montalcino, it is the most, Sangiovese is the most dominant and most prestigious grape variety across the three areas we mentioned, so all of Tuscany, and it makes wines that tend to have high levels of acidity and tannin. It is late to ripen, so hence it needs a warm climate like here. So it's very much found its sort of spiritual home in Tuscany. So late ripening, high in acidity, high in tannin. What does one expect from Sangiovese? Well, the wines have aromas of red cherries, plums, and dried herbs, and they're usually aged for a period of significant time in oak to soften the tannin and to sometimes add layers of complexity. Just like in Piemonte with classic wines like Barolo and Barbaresco, you can find larger casks, typically of Slavonian origin, that's from Croatia, and always down to the smaller barriques from France. Now, with bottle age, these wines develop meaty and gamey aromas. And they very much are the dominating style here across Tuscany, but also specifically in our area in southern Tuscany and Brunello di Montalcino. So the vineyards of southern Tuscany are actually at lower altitudes in comparison to the Chianti mountainous area. And we find this area, which is highlighted in green on the left-hand map and then magnified in the central diagram that you see here. So this area is a warmer climate, but there are cool maritime breezes that come from the southwest that can moderate the temperatures. Certainly in areas like Sant'Angelo do Colle, for example, in the southern section. The actual town of Montalcino is in that middle quadrant towards the top right-hand side. And that is where we find the very beautiful picture that we saw on the first slide. Most of the vineyards, the red dots there, the wineries, are based around Montalcino. That's at a bit higher altitude. So in those areas, altitude provides a cooling effect. And in the southern area, it's the cooling maritime breezes. Brunello has some rather significant aging laws, and I'm going to describe what it says on your screen now. So the regulations for Brunello di Montalcino stipulate, of course, that the wines must be made solely, entirely from Sangiovese, and they undergo a minimum aging of which it will be released in the 5th January after harvest. That's what I'm saying here. So release January the 1st, but vintage plus 5. Okay, so say harvest is in September or October. The 1st January comes along the next year, and you need to count 5 Januaries until it is released. Now, of that time, there must be a minimum of 2 years in oak. That can be in those larger Slavonian botti, the larger Croatian origin oak, which is fairly neutral, really used principally in the past and still today for oxidation and for really softening the tannins of the Sangiovese grape variety. But it can be also in barrique, in those small French oak casks. It's mentioned very briefly, but there are certainly reservas also that we have from Brunello. These must be aged for 2 years in oak and released 6 Januaries after the harvest. So V there, by the way, stands for vintage, the harvest. Okay, so one thing to mention finally is that here in Brunello di Montalcino, first of all, Montalcino is the place. Brunello, by the way, is a local synonym for Sangiovese. So this is Sangiovese of Montalcino, Brunello di Montalcino. And this is the high-end premium DOCG wine. But not all red wine is Brunello di Montalcino. There is a secondary wine, which is called Rosso di Montalcino, and this is a DOC. So this is basically a declassified Brunello di Montalcino. Now, this is done by producers potentially in poorer vintages, and they don't like the quality as much to classify it as a Brunello. Or it may be from their vineyards, some of their younger vines at 5 or 10 years old, and they don't think the concentration or quality is there. So they have a secondary wine called the Red of Montalcino, Rosso di Montalcino. And these wines are generally lighter and more fragrant, but made from Sangiovese. So that's really the information in terms of the theory. We're now going to put this to the test by looking at some short written questions. We'll go through a tabulated question and then into some more understanding, so giving a factor and how it influences the style. Now, you may wish to pause at these questions and answer them yourself to see if your answers then line up with me, the examiner. So fill out the table below regarding Brunello di Montalcino DOCG for 3 marks, so really just stating your answer to each of these. Name the region in Italy that we find Brunello di Montalcino. So it's found in southern Tuscany. The region is, of course, Tuscany. If you want, you can use the Italian here of Toscana. The minimum aging in oak for the standard wine, not the reserva, is 24 months or 2 years. So the answer is in the box now. And the minimum total aging has changed from older textbooks where it mentions 4 or 5 years. It's actually now released from the January the 1st of the 5th year after harvest. It's a little bit more of a mouthful, but basically that means you've got to count those Januaries that come after the vintage. So there's 3 marks available there for filling out a table. Let's go to a label question, which WSET are often quite fond of in the examinations. There is the fantastic Poggio di Sotto Brunello di Montalcino, a fairly iconic label from Montalcino. Here you've got a question that is worth 3 marks. State and describe the climate of this region. So first of all, stating what it is. It is a warm Mediterranean, getting you 1 mark. And now mentioning what happens in this climate. So you could start to mention what Mediterranean is about. So fairly warm summers, fairly cool to cold winters, and rainfall generally in the winter months. But in your text, it actually says warm Mediterranean with coastal maritime breezes. And this makes it one of the warmest parts of Tuscany. That's the information from your text. But I don't mind you going into a bit of detail about what warm Mediterranean specifically is. And you can do that, by the way, by mentioning about the growing season temperatures of warm, or by describing Mediterranean in terms of summer and winter. So quite a lot you could actually write about for that one, but I put what's directly in the text. Now, if you wish to continue with more questions of that label and even more on top, you'll need to go across to the Wine with Jimmy portal. That's the e-learning portal. You can search for that on all good search engines. So Wine with Jimmy e-learning portal, and sign up for the level 3 content to get access to lots of exclusive video content alongside some very useful short written questions, map questions, things like flashcards and multiple choice as well. Go along, you will not be disappointed. It's very useful for your studies.